tonight on Saltiness Isn't Bliss is taco pockets. So we want to start by preheating our oven to 400 degrees, and we want to line a baking sheet with some parchment paper. Parchment paper is the one that can go in the oven and get hot. Over here I've got some pie crusts. So these are just standard, you get two rolled up in a box, and that is what we're going to use as our actual base that is going to hold all of our, that's going to be the pocket that holds all of our taco ingredients. My tip to you guys with these is to let them warm up. So take them out of the fridge, give them at least a half hour to an hour to warm up. When you do that, they will unroll a lot easier, be a lot more pliable, and they won't have a tendency to crack and just not cooperate as you're trying to work with them. So we have a couple of options here with these crusts, how we can cut them up and use them with our taco filling. So the first would be, I've got this mini calzone press. I'm just going to use that for my first one. And I'm actually going to use this press and kind of create a taco calzone, if you will. So there's one option. So with our second crust, our next option, and this will be an easier option if you don't have something like this at home, would be to just take a knife and cut a square in it. That square can be as small or as large as you like. Obviously, the larger you go, the more taco filling that will fit in there. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here, and I'm going to try to get the most out of my crust and cut a pretty decent sized square. Okay, so we have just cut our two pieces of pie crust. Like I said, get creative however you want to slice that up. Just make sure it's large enough that it will be able to hold our taco filling. So here is the base of our taco filling that we're going to add all these flavors to. So I've got 1 pound of ground beef that is browned and drained, and I've also added in some cooked potatoes. Years ago, I was at a Mexican restaurant and they had cooked potatoes in their tacos. I thought it was amazing. So every now and then I kind of bring that idea and tradition back to my taco meat. And another thing you can add in there if you want is some diced tomatoes. I'm going to hold off on that. Hubby doesn't like tomatoes, so he would not be too happy if it was loaded with those. But that is another idea that can go along with your potatoes. So we are going to add in some salt-free. This is actually, I reuse this, so don't worry about that expiration date, guys. I've refilled it many times with fresh taco seasoning. Reduced sodium taco seasoning. You can sometimes find, and the original one was salt-free. Some dried cilantro leaves. You can always go with fresh. I've got some Tajin, some lime juice, and over here is some enchilada sauce. So I am going to put just a little bit of that in there, maybe put some on the outside, I'm not sure just yet. So let's start with our taco seasoning as our first layer of seasoning we put in there. This will be to taste. Next up, this comes out kind of slow, so I'm going to put some dried cilantro. That is also to taste. Everything here will be how little or how much you want in there. You can always use a fresh lime in here if you want. I'm going to start with a small amount of the enchilada sauce. We can always add more later. So I'm going to go with 2 small ladles. And once we mix that all together, we'll kind of see how that looks. Let's put the burner on in between low and medium low, just to help kind of blend all these flavors together. So yeah, I definitely think I want to add a little bit more enchilada sauce. So I will add another 2. And so this will be the idea, guys. You're just going to mix and blend it, and as you're doing so, see if you want to add in any additional or any more ingredients that you've already put in there until you get it looking how your taste buds like. Okay, so I've turned the burner off now, so the idea with this is just to warm and blend all those ingredients. So just a couple minutes on that, just a low simmer. So now we're going to get to our pie crust. So I'm going to start with this one. Fill it again to taste, so no right or wrong way to fill it. A couple other ideas, guys, for things you can add into your meat. You can put some hot sauce in there, you can put some salsa in there, so just something to add another flavor in there as well. So we've just put our meat in there. We've got it kind of on a diagonal. Now I'm gonna put a little homemade blend of cheeses on top. I've got some shredded cheddar cheese and some shredded Chihuahua cheese. Get creative with the cheese, guys. Whatever blend you like, whatever you've got at home, make it work for you. So we're just gonna put some on top, and then we're gonna seal this up. Want to pull our corners together and then just kind of pinch, give them a little pinch so they stay closed. And then that will go directly onto our parchment paper. And now we will move on to this crust. So this one we've got cut out as a calzone. So I'm going to come back to my calzone press. Kind of lay that in there. Scoop my meat mixture in. Put my cheese on top. And this would be the time if you want to add more of that enchilada sauce, feel free. Now I'm just going to rub some water around the rim here, around the edge. So there's our mini calzone. Didn't fully cooperate, but that happens. Now we're going to cut a little slot in the top. Lift that out of there and place that right on our parchment paper as well. And then you'll just repeat those steps. Repeat those steps till you have the desired quantity of pockets, taco pockets, or the taco calzones, or you've used up all your meat mixture. It will go in a preheated oven anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. We want to make sure to get a nice golden brown on the pie crust and also to melt all that cheese. So here it is, fresh out of the oven. Now, of course, you can get creative with sides you want to dip this in. I just want to cut that open and give you a peek at all the potatoes, that melted cheese, the seasoned meat. This looks like a great dinner tonight. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.